It's 9 o'clock on November 8th. And so we do have quorum, everybody's in attendance. Can I have a motion to adopt? Oh, no, we need to make this motion.
So as your staff, we have in front of you a white paper. We would like to propose a modification of the agenda. The issue is the topic of the Roswell Beach consolidation is scheduled for consideration under closed session, along with an update from your outside attorneys regarding litigation. One of our 2 board liaisons on the consolidation negotiation team is only available at the beginning of your meeting, so staff requests that you move the closed session items to the beginning of the meeting after public comments are completed. And there is an action if you choose to take that motion, under motion, in front of.
So moved. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to modify the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right,
And
thank you
you
very
need
much.
to adopt the modified agenda.
Okay, so now we need a motion to adopt the modified agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so we have adopted the modified agenda. Now we're going to approve the minutes from our last meeting, Dr. Cannon.
Yes, the minutes from our October 11th meeting are in your packet, and unless there's any discussion, we will take a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're going to move to public comments, and I believe we have Ms. Gaines is up for our public comments. Just as a reminder, you have 4 minutes if you'll state your name and address as well. I know.
Good morning. My name is Janice Gaines. I'm from the Rock Hill Community Organization. I live at 2316 Rock Hill Road. About a year ago, I came and stood before this board, and I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude and the invaluable support that CFPUA has provided in securing grant money for the Rock Hill community's water needs. Your dedication to ensuring access to safe and clean water to our community will be a profound difference in our lives. The grant funds will facilitate the quality of life in the Rock Hill community. Clean and reliable water is not just a basic necessity, it is the foundation of health, education, and community development. Your commitment to provide this will not only ease our day-to-day lives, but it will inspire hope and resilience within our community. Your efforts reflect CFPUA's unwavering commitment to service and the community. We are truly blessed to have you as a partner in this endeavor, and we look forward to continuing to collaborate in the future. Once again, thank each and every one of you for your efforts in getting us clean water. We really do appreciate it, and we can't say thank you enough on your quick reaction. Thank you.
So I will say just a point of privilege is a response to that. We've been very happy to partner with the Rock Hill community. You have helped us in kind of this new thing that CFPUA is going through, and along with our partners at the county and the city. We're glad that you've gone on this journey with us, and it's nice to hear good things, because a lot of times people come up and you know, it's the opposite. So we thank you all for being here in attendance, and look forward to working with you, because it's a great project that we're all going to benefit from, and I'm glad that we can affect your community positively. So, thank you.
Do we have any other comments?
Is that it for public comments? Okay. That is it for public comments. Yep. And so now we're going to go into closed session to discuss.
We need a motion to go into closed session to discuss, wait a minute, we gotta say all these things, I'm sorry. To discuss a claim, contract negotiations with instructions to your attorney, CFPUA versus Camorras and DuPont.
So we're going to ask if you're not a part of the litigation of the Wrightsville Beach consolidation, you'll have to
Yeah,
exit
so
the room
moved.
at this time.
Okay.
Can I have a motion to go into closed session?
They do.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. All right. We'll let you know when we're out of closed session. Ms. Vermont.
I ain't got a written agenda. I can get on mine. Let me ask you, man, Star, you got an agenda?
In their professional opinion, I think that it's.
So I know you've already been through a long set of meetings, and I'm going to try not to drag that out, but this is our annual meeting as required by the bylaws. And at that annual meeting, your executive director is required to present this annual report, a copy of which is on the table in front of you, and to report on the condition of the authority, and thereafter to present copies to our sponsoring governmental agencies, the City of Wilmington and New Hanover County. So I'm very pleased to offer you this, now my third annual report. And I'm also pleased to report that the condition of your utility is strong and financially sound. Indeed, it has improved year over year. We can highlight a few milestones, including a long-planned consolidation of the Sweeney and Richardson water systems, the completion of our first customer satisfaction survey, the expansion of litigation against the polluters upstream to the Delaware Court of Chancery, so we can continue to hold them accountable and to seek restitution for our customers. And the adoption of a $112.9 million budget. So it's been a very, very eventful year for us. Now, your water and wastewater utility continues to grow with 1,831 meters installed and a record $24,643,058 in conveyed infrastructure assets over the first 10 months of this calendar year alone. Now, both of these growth indicators are higher than anticipated. And despite the rate of increases that we had, our rate increases last year necessitated by inflationary pressures and the need to plan for our infrastructure capital replacement projects, the average amount of customer income spent on our water and sewer authority is well below that of Brunswick County, Fayetteville, Onslow County, and Pender County. I'm also pleased to report that our system development charges remain some of the lowest in the region, demonstrating our commitment to economic vitality in our community. Good governance is the hallmark of a well-run utility, and our utility continues to receive national recognition for the operational and management policies created by our board. Our strategic plan was formed from the goals and objectives of this board, and it's based upon the effective utility management principles, which is our industry's primary guidance for good governance practices and continuous improvement. The National Association of Clean Water Agencies Excellence in Management Program honored CFPUA this year with gold recognition, and this honor ranks us among the top performing water utilities in the nation. This year, our utility was also selected to represent our peers across the nation in an EPA-led process to update those same guidelines. Now, consolidations of local government entities or services is often extremely difficult and labor-intensive work. Such consolidations are never taken lightly, and when they're done right, they bring value to all involved for decades to come. The work of evaluating the potential consolidation between the town of Wrightsville Beach and its utilities and CFPUA is nearing completion. And your staff wants to take this opportunity to express our sincere appreciation to your board liaisons for their countless hours of hard work evaluating this complex issue. In a show of support for utility consolidation statewide, our delegation at the North Carolina General Assembly brought forward funding to support utility consolidation if the boards and councils of the town, CFPUA, New Hanover County, and the city of Wilmington all agree that it's in the best interest of our community. Now, this year we have been having some unprecedented changes in the way we do business, with numerous unserved and underserved communities reaching out to CFPUA and to our parent entities, asking for service extensions to address failing septic systems that are on site or groundwater contamination. Stepping up to address these concerns, CFPUA in New Hanover County is now partnering on multiple projects to provide temporary relief and more permanent relief through the extension of water service to unserved and underserved parts of your community. At the same time, CFPUA and the county continue our historic partnership to ensure the orderly growth of our community through the structured investment in Northeast New Hanover County, supported through joint funding from CFPUA and New Hanover County and special appropriations brought to the table for that purpose. Taken together, this is evidence of our efforts to forward several board initiatives in your strategic plan, which include striving to understand and meet the needs of all of our stakeholders, ensuring infrastructure reliability, and maintaining and strengthening our future financial position. And that's a theme that I want to kind of reiterate every chance that we get in conversation, that everything we're doing is built around the strategic plan that you've given us. And our report should reflect progress or lack thereof on that strategic plan. Now, coming around again to the topic of PFAS, CFPUA remains deeply involved in advocacy at the local, state, and federal levels on all issues of per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, PFAS. And we continue to host academic research into PFAS and PFAS treatment solutions. We remain a national leader in PFAS education and treatment solutions, and in many ways, our staff is literally writing the operation book that as many as 5,000 other utilities across the nation will use to address their own PFAS challenges. And we've had a full year of operating that new facility, learning and adding data that informs not just ourselves, but the entire nation. From January to November 2nd, we offered approximately 25 tours consisting of more than 400 individuals from various engineering firms, multiple colleges and schools, state and federal representatives, professional and water associations, and countless peer utilities. At the end of this month, for example, we are hosting the environmental regulatory leaders of several states surrounding North Carolina that are all located in the EPA Region 4. So we are a go-to destination for this topic. Now, we are the beneficiaries of an incredible legacy. There's a saying, elders plant trees knowing that they shall never sit under the shade of their foliage. And our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents were those elders. They bequeath us a wealth of infrastructure, investment that they made for the good of the community in the future that they would not see in their life. And like the generations before us, it's now our turn to make sure the future generations have the water and sewer services that they need. CFPUA's 10-year CIP includes more than $500 million in planned capital improvements, 86% of which, 86%, goes to repair, rehabilitate, and replace that priceless infrastructure bequeathed to us by prior generations. In our FY 2024 CIP, it now totals $77.4 million, representing the second largest such single-year CIP, and your continued investment into this community. Now, key to serving that vision of providing for the future is the replacement of the Southside Wastewater Treatment Plant. Originally opened 51 years ago, This community asset now stands ready for total replacement. Our board has begun the work necessary to provide for the next 50 years through the award of a $13.1 million contract to cover Phase 1 of the progressive design build aspects of the project. Construction may begin as soon as a year from now, but certainly no later than 2025. As we remind ourselves each day, infrastructure management is the key function, a key function of any utility. And as good stewards of our infrastructure, we have projects that span the full spectrum of potential activities in the water sector. From major investments in city and county-specific projects to difficult and costly sanitary sewer replacements. From ongoing maintenance of our water infrastructure to projects designed to sustain and support our community. Your utility continues to put its board's strategic capital plan into action. Our work is to ensure that the City of Wilmington and New Hanover County continues to have the best utility possible, operated and maintained at the lowest responsible cost while remaining responsive to our customers. That's literally what you tell us what to do, and we are working hard every day to accomplish that. Finally, as a special unit of local government, we are honored to hold the public trust to ourselves and hold to the highest fiduciary standards. As verified by our latest annual comprehensive financial report and audit presented to this board last month, your authority is healthy and well managed, revenues to cover expenditures, as well as fund the robust and growing capital improvement program that we've talked about. You've taken very prudent steps to ensure our financial needs are met, and we've taken those steps through measured, well thought out financial policies and community investments. So on behalf of CFPUA's customers, its staff, and the stakeholders that we all serve, I thank you for your continued support and stand ready for any questions you may have. Thank you.
Quite a year. Seems like it is. Look forward to next year's. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. Any comments, questions? If not, a motion for approval? Okay,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I have one question on the interlocal agreement, which is
Item number 7.
item number 1.
Okay.
And all the whereases, there's one that says that the let's see, several of the unincorporated areas are not eligible for connection to the authority water services under the consent order, even though they have shown that they have PFAS in the water, well water. Is that what that's saying?
The definition of the consent decree between DEQ and Comores, where certain people get water connections for free. That means that they didn't have high enough levels of PFAS in the water.
That's for that group?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry.
Any other questions on the consent? All right, if not, I'll take a motion to approve. Motion by Monica, second by Rob. All those in favor say aye. All right, thank you, Brenda. Moving on to new business, administrative reports, Tony's report.
I do not have anything.
Covered out there. Thank you, Linda. George and Joe. Moving on to executive records report.
Yes, before we go into the 4 reports, I'd like to have one part of personal privilege and announce that on Monday the 13th, our workforce development manager will join us. Her name is Shannon Clay Ross. I want to extend my thanks to Mr. Barfield Adams for joining me on that final selection committee. We have 41 good candidates. We have 3 outstanding candidates that we interviewed. And Clay also has an extensive 18-year experience in workforce development. Is excited to hit the ground, and we're excited to let her do so. So we'll get to meet you in the very near future. So outside of that announcement, I would like to open up the fact that we have the key indicators report, safety report, the environmental report, and the strategic plan update in your packet. We stand ready to answer questions.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple quick clarifications. Ken, I noted that the safety report that's on page 99, we had a 12-month high with 2 accidents and 2 injuries. Is that all one big thing that happened, or is there, can you fill in some blanks?
Ms. Eckert, do we have that data so you can report, or should we provide it as a written follow-up?
No, we had the, for instance, there was 2 where civilian vehicles ran into us. One ran into the back of us, one ran into the side of us. Then we had another, somebody backed up and fell over a pipe, and then there was an insect bite. So those were the 4 incidents that happened. So they're all individual incidents, but they were very different. Except for the 2 with civilian vehicles running into our vehicles.
You don't see any kind of a trend factor here. Thank you. The other issue I saw, it was on page 106 with a vacancy rate now up to, again, a 12-month high of 8.22%. Any thoughts on how to address that? I'm sure you have many thoughts, yeah.
We've actually had quite a few conversations about that. Our HR director can't join us today, she's ill, but she and I have spoken about this 3 times here recently. We actually have 21 vacant positions now. One of the first things that we're going to do is ask our workforce development manager to join our workforce and spend some time working with them in areas where we have these vacancies. And then I'd like her to carve out some of her time to start visiting the local high schools and local community colleges. One of the ultimate things we'd like to do is to build a pipeline from both high schools and community colleges into our workforce. So that's one of the first steps. But it is toward the end of the year, so recruitment is often more difficult for blue collar positions and some white collar positions as you get through the end of the calendar year. And the vacancies that we have occurring are in, again, some of our harder to fill positions, some of our entry level positions. So the workforce development manager position was intended to try to mitigate that through the use of education stipend and some other ideas that we'll bring to you in the next budget.
Is money the issue as far as entry-level pay? Are we below, is this a problem that money could fix?
I would say it contributes, and it's true for all local government entities that we have that challenge. Traditionally, local government entities struggle in competing against the private market. We generally have better benefits, but at market is where we try to land, and we're not as nimble as private entities in adjusting salaries. We try to be. But the other side of that is ensuring that we're creating incentives that would bring people that want to stay with us for a while. So that's partly the education incentive. It would be other approaches that we're going to bring forward in your budget. It is a problem that we are aware of and we're going to have to tackle.
Thank you.
Ken, these vacancies, are they occurring? I mean, we get down and then it gets up. I mean, they're being caused by people leaving the system?
It's a combination of people leaving the system and then in a healthy way, people moving within the system.
Okay.
But yes, some of our entry-level positions, they turn over quite often.
We do like an exit interview to find out. Okay. You mentioned coordinating with high schools. Does that also include CTAC?
Yes.
Because that's a goal now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And we thank you. A key part of this position, not the only reason by far, But a key part of this position that we are adding on Monday was to have somebody who is thinking about that and is creating those pipelines intentionally.
That was all that I had.
Okay.
Thanks, Ken. Moving on to committee reports, so the executive committee met last week. Those minutes are in your packet. We do have an item to bring before the board regarding the acknowledgement of the legislative delegation for the recent budget,
Yes. So we as staff believe we've heard in the last meeting that individual conversations with various board members desire to acknowledge the delegation, specifically that part of the delegation that was instrumental in securing the special appropriations for which the authority benefited from. In this budget, not only did the authority receive $35 million in special appropriations directly, it received $30 million indirectly through the lower CFPUA School Authority. That higher appropriation directly benefits CFPUA customers. There's all the special appropriation associated with the consolidation. There's 17 million of the 35 we received was for consolidation. There's another 8 for Wrightsville Beach, and that will help this body avoid the challenge of a surcharge. Won't put it completely off the table as we've talked about, but it will help avoid it. And then the county received $45 million, of which we believe we will be significant beneficiaries of that funding once the county ultimately chooses how to distribute and expend it. So overall, $118 million in special appropriations to New Hanover County. So hearing the feedback in the last meeting and the celebratory nature of that, and speaking with some of your members and peers around the table, the question was, how do we acknowledge that as a body? As staff, we don't bring forward those types of proposals. It is an acknowledgement from this body. So what and how you acknowledge them is a decision of the body. Is it a directive to your executive director to send a letter of thanks? Is it a resolution from the body itself? Is it something more like a recognition at a meeting? We brought this forward to your executive committee. And your executive committee elected to bring it to the full board for conversation.
Madam Chair? So I'm in support of recognizing they worked really hard. My concern, and we discussed this at the executive committee, my concern is bringing them in with a lot of congratulations into one of our meetings, even though I don't believe that is political. I believe it would be viewed as political, perhaps by our customer base and people in our community. I think a letter from the board, perhaps coming from you or from you, would be a more appropriate way to think.
Respectfully, I disagree with Dr. Cannon. We do this all the time at the city, and the county does too, to bring in our state and even federal delegations when they do things that are directly affecting the folks that we all usually represent. So I certainly think it's appropriate, given the sheer amount of funding that's coming to CFPUA directly and indirectly to publicly acknowledge them in a meeting if they so choose, but for that to come from the board.
So just to push back a tiny bit, the city and the county are elected boards. And so you are directly beholden to your constituents and they can give you feedback. We are not an elected board. And I would further add that we've worked for 6-7 years really trying to restore the reputation of our organization. And I think that we live in extremely polarizing times. And I think staying away from politics, even if it's just an appearance, is a wise thing for us to do.
Politics is politics. I mean, we all live in politics. When these people step up to the plate and advocate for the city, the county, the same, I don't feel like we owe them a vote of thanks. They didn't have to. And, I mean, we can march them down there, have their picture taken, and our PIO makes a splash of it. I mean, Gosh, it ain't nothing wrong to give somebody a pat on the back for doing something good for all of us. Believe me, this is good for all of us.
Here.
Is this going to a vote?
Well, so I think we need to decide, how do we want to thank them? Is it a resolution, is it a letter, is it a note from Ken? I mean, there's many ways we can thank them.
All of the above.
I mean, you know, I understand Jessica's comments and concerns. You know, we live in such a divided world where you can't acknowledge because of fear of someone not liking who you acknowledge. You know, I supported one city council candidate, now I'm opposed to all candidates because I supported one. Why can't I support all? Without being perceived in a negative light. You know, I recall Congressman McIntyre would bring big checks all the time and present to the county, fire trucks for this, that, and the other thing. I've never had a problem with it. He did a lot of great work for our community. You know, as a county commissioner, when we give money to the school board for scholarships, I want to be acknowledged. I want the county to get credit for what they have done to further the advancement of certain things in our community, and I think that it's important. I guess I don't view the world as everyone does in terms of politics. I just look at what's right and what's wrong. And you know, if someone does something that helps cause, my grandmother taught me to say thank you. You know, and for me, my grandmother was the epitome of what I call a saint. And, you know, she taught me to say meek and humble. And humble means not thinking more of yourself than you ought to, be self-control with your tongue and so to speak in anger. But also to learn how to say thank you. And I know as an elected official, I do like to be acknowledged and thanked when I do something for any part of our community.
I'm in agreement. I think we should thank them.
Let me finish. But again, I hate the polarizing nature of our community that we live in and the world that we live in, where you're damned if you support anything that someone else doesn't like. You know, my wife and I don't agree on everything in my household. You know, I can't get consensus on most cases in my own home, but you find ways to agree to disagree or to come to a compromise. But again, when someone, in my opinion, you know, whether it's Jeff Butler or Michael Lee brings resources to our community, I think we should acknowledge them for what they've done. You know, whether it's Jonathan Barfield or Rob Zappel, you know, the Rock Hill community is getting water and sewer. They came to our county commission meeting. A woman that came up here this morning saying, thank you. That's all it is, saying thank you for what you've done to help our community. It goes a long way, in my opinion, of getting future things as well.
Go ahead.
I think, you know, embedded in this is really the historical nature of what has happened, the amount of money that's coming down here, southeast North Carolina. The state is finally recognizing, and you know, recognize why, and kind of, there are periods where it comes and flows, there's periods where it's not. The truth is, I can't remember ever receiving this amount of money down here in southeast North Carolina, which will benefit the entire Cape Fear region. So maybe a compromise position would be to invite, you know, our entire state delegation down here, who all voted on the budget to come down here, and, you know, or to come in. I'm not sure they all would accept, but I agree with Jonathan. Everybody likes to be thanked. And believe me, we know it when we put money out there and we don't hear that thank you. I think we need to say thank you loud and in person, frankly.
You about them all.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, did Mr. Fetzer kind of navigate those funds from those legislators for us? Do you think having him on board was responsible for us getting that money that we've never gotten before?
Only give you a personal opinion. We were unusually fortunate to have two members of the delegation that were key parts of the budget development process. Senator Lee was a co-chair on the Senate side, and Representative Davis was a vice chair on the House side. And certainly your lobbyists were communicating your desires and wishes and continue to do so. So that's, don't want to discount that.
Yeah.
But it was in particular, their positioning and their willingness to bring funding to this body that I believe led to the special appropriation.
Spencer was paid to do.
And individual members of this board.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to discount that. There was people on this board who were lobbying and advocating for us, and we thank you each for that activity.
So I'm looking for a motion on how we want to thank.
What were the three options?
We'll see there, you can do from a resolution, a thank you letter, anywhere in between.
Motion anywhere in between.
Yeah, and so that's kind of what I'm looking for.
The resolution would typically be just from the board and presented in person, because I think both Jonathan and Rob mentioned it in person.
In the past, when we have voted on resolutions, we have read them out loud, asked the person to be here, we presented it and, said, thank you, here's the resolution on behalf of the board.
I move to approve the resolution to the delegation as I believe is referenced in the packet. I don't know if it is referenced in the packet, but if not, then Senator.
It's not referenced in the packet, so the entire legislative delegation.
Senator Michael Lee and Representative Ted Davis.
I would include Deb Butler in that as well.
Yeah.
The whole delegation.
Even though she voted against the budget that brought in these.
She's a part of our delegation. There may be something else we're gonna need down the road that she may be supporting.
Can we make the resolution to our delegation, or do we have to make the resolution for a person?
You can do it either way. Now Deb Butler did introduce some PFAS bills that didn't get anywhere, so we could include that in the if you wanted to.
And I would amend my motion to include our entire delegation.
Okay.
As a
They all made-
resolution.
They all
yes.
made efforts to help us in different ways,
Yes.
so we can put that all in
Some
the
more-
resolution.
And
Some
we'll
more
state
successful than others.
factually what they did in each activity in each of our delegation, including Senator Rayburn, by the way.
Yes,
Also
Senator
part of it.
Rayburn, and then
Each had an action to benefit the utilities.
yes, each member of our delegation tried in some way to benefit us with this problem. Representative Davis tried last year to get some PFAS legislation passed.
So my motion as it stands would be to include the entire delegation.
Yes, yes,
With their respective.
Yep.
Is that motion clear
yes,
enough?
yes. So I have a motion and I need a second. Okay. All those in favor say aye. So the resolution will come before the executive committee next month for approval, and then we'll bring it to the board the next month for approval, for final approval. Okay.
Madam Chair, you didn't ask for nays. You did not ask for nays.
Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor? All opposed? Okay, thank you, Rob, sorry. All right, moving on, long range planning committee.
November 8th meeting, Paul Vandermeiden gave a presentation summarizing the 2024 CIP and the major projects included. That presentation is in the package.
Any questions on long range planning? Moving on to finance committee.
Finance Committee met November 1st. Minutes are in the packet. No questions on that by Sean McLean?
So, Mr. Treasurer, recognizing this has been a pretty long meeting so far, I'd like to offer you and the board the option to forego my presentation this month. The presentation is in the packet, and I stand ready to answer any questions if you have them.
And really nothing of significance.
And there's nothing of significance.
Yeah, I think everybody's good with that.
Okay.
Any questions?
I know Rob's over here wiggling.
I'm good.
That's finance committee. Moving on to sustainability committee.
Yes, sustainability, that's on the 26th, and our minutes are in the packet. We do not have a report for today.
Okay, thank you very much. Consolidation study update?
HDR submitted the draft study report to both the town of Russell Beach and the CFPUA staff. Work on the utility consolidation agreement will continue in conjunction with the finalizing the study report. And the town of Russell Beach and CFPUA met on October 19th to discuss both our draft proposals, and we'll meet again on November 20th. Also, one quick thing. At our discussion before, like Rob was talking about, we throw out a lot of the basic numbers and it gets confusing, like the 25 million, the 22 million, 7, the 13, and the 1. So I asked John to just email y'all basically a quick little sources and uses based on the Wrightsville Beach present proposal and our proposal side by side. Y'all can have that. Because some of those sources are real money, some of those sources are accounting funds. Y'all can have that as a cheat sheet next time we talk, because we throw them around, but it's really 4 or 5 numbers that add up to that. So I'm sorry that it was bugging me, but we should have brought it out sooner.
Thanks, Steve.
That would simplify things a lot, so we can do that. Thank you. That's it.
Sounds like great. All right, any old business? Lastly, some closing comments. I would like to recognize Akiva Robinson and Judy Lawton that recently passed their clerkship course done. Assisting Donna, and we look forward to Sarah, completing that next year. And you have something else?
Is just to note that I will not be here for the next meeting. And we are wrapping up the EPA lab, effective utility management principles update. I'm in Washington, wrapping that up. That's John Delaney, second my role as deputy VP.
And one.
I know that I sent an email about my experience in San Diego, but I just want to say this to the full board, that it was a pleasure to represent CFPUA in San Diego. I learned a lot about water and sewer. It's big business, and listen, so I did learn that marketing initiatives create job interest, and the only reason I'm saying that is because you're saying that we're down employees. So that's one thing that they talked about in San Diego was the marketing. And I've always said a lot about marketing, how we should market more instead of stuff just being on the water bill. And it will create interest to people that we need to fill the roles of the employees that we're losing either through attrition or them moving up. You understand? It was phenomenal to see how much big business is for water and sewer. I met people from across the United States that handle water and sewer, and I was absolutely fascinated. And then once again, to represent this board at that meeting meant a lot to me, and so I'll be telling the whole community about it. But thank you very much, and I just want to say that. Thank you.
All right, everybody have a wonderful
Well,
Thanksgiving.
I got
Go
a
ahead.
club too.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to tell everybody, I felt like I was at summer camp and I had mom down there, dad over here and Craig back there. We couldn't get, they were herding us around, and everybody that was there is in the same boats we were in. There wasn't anybody there talking down about us and our problems, everybody's got the same.
And everybody knew Ken also.
Know that we're running into lake. Yeah, everybody does.
Everybody knew Ken there.
And we are very well respected across the United States of America in water and sewer.
Yeah.
Everybody said it, and I was just thrown back because everybody knows about Cape Public Utility Authority, our battle with PFAS and Gen X, and people going like, oh man, you guys are just, on point, with what you're doing for people as far as water quality and affordability, so that's it.
Thank you both. All right, happy holidays, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Can I have a motion to adjourn? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? I got it.